Welcome to the Her Podcast with Kristin Sampson on the Ministry League Network. This podcast is by women and for women to bring hope, encouragement, and reflection to your Christian walk. Be humble in your talent. God gives everyone talents. They can be used in various ways, but I want to talk to you today about using it for the Lord and His church. Your talents could be visiting with strangers, writing and sending cards, singing, and drawing, just to name a few. One of many examples given in the Bible of talents is the example of Dorcas, and it's found in the book of Acts. It says in chapter 9, verse 36, "In Joppa there was a disciple named Tabitha, and in Greek her name is Dorcas. She was also doing good and helping the poor. About that time she became sick, and she died. And her body was washed and placed in an upstairs room." Lydia was near Joppa, so when the disciples heard that Peter was in Lydia, they sent 2 men to him and urged him, "Please come at once." Peter went with them, and when he arrived, he was taken upstairs to the room. All the widows stood around him, crying and showing him the robes and all the other clothing that Dorcas had made while she was still with them. Peter sent them all out of the room, and then he got down on his knees and prayed. Turning toward the dead woman, he said, "Tabitha, get up." She opened her eyes, and seeing Peter, she sat up. He took her by the hand and held her to her feet. Then he called for the believers, and especially the widows, and presented her to them alive. This became known all over Joppa, and many people believed in the Lord. You see, she was known for her good works, sewing, and talents for the poor and the needy. In fact, she made such a difference with this gift that when she died, the people she impacted came to Peter and begged him to bring her back from the dead. And he did. He restored her to her ministering so she can minister to others. What talent has God given you? How do you use it for God? Are you humble or are you boasting? Do you think of yourself more highly than others because of your talent? In today's world, it is hard not to get caught up in what others think of us and our talents. We tend to try to outshine others, make ourselves look better. Some think their talents are way more valuable than any others. You also have people who think that the talent God gave them has made them more holy and favorable to God. I'm thankful God has told us that we are all here and given a talent for a purpose. Just look at 1 Peter 4, verse 10, and it says, "As each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace." So in 1 Peter, he tells us not only do we receive a talent or gift, but we are to use it for others and for good. Now let's look at James 4, verse 6. "But he gives more grace. Therefore it says, God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble." We are not to be proud in the sense that we are better than others, but to be humble. It is great to be talented and to use our talents and to know what ours is. But it is all in the way we act and use our talents that make them either pointless or effective. I hope you're using your talents for God's glory. I encourage you to find and develop your talent God has given you, and then reflect on how you view others' talent and your own gift. Pray you have a blessed day.